What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I just wanted to talk about DMZ. When we saw the gameplay reveal, or the quote-unquote reveal of it, there wasn't a lot to it, but over the past week or so, I've actually been having a lot of fun. I've been pleasantly surprised with the amount of depth in this game. It still needs a few things here or there, like I would love a stash to be able to hide your backpack and stuff like that to save if you didn't want to bring it back in for the next raid and save some of that kind of stuff. But that's kind of beside the point. It is what it is right now. Hopefully they'll make some changes and add some stuff to it. But what I really wanted to do in this video is, for those of you who are just beginning a little bit intimidated by it, show you how to get into a raid, how to go through the loadouts and the menus, because it is a little bit convoluted and there's some things that I think you need to keep an eye on. We'll talk about that first, and then time tag down below. I've made it most of the way through the tier 2 missions, and I've actually learned quite a lot in how to be efficient in these missions and some things like that. So in the second part of the video, I want to talk to more of you intermediate players about some of the things I've learned, and let me know what you guys have learned down in the comments. If you want to see more DMZ content, if you want to see cool raids, or if you want to see some kind of guides on how to get some of the tasks done, if there's any that you're having trouble with, definitely put that down in the comments below. I would love to discuss about if you would like to see what kind of, and if more DMZ content. So we're here in the menu. Let's go ahead and look how I would set up into a raid, because when you first get in, there's not a lot you can do. You would immediately just start to deploy. Now, if all else fails and you misclick some buttons, it is nice that if you just click on deploy, it kind of takes you through what you need to set up. I kind of prefer to do it manually. So the first thing you want to do is look at your weapons. Now here you can see your stash. This is not your stash necessarily. This is more your loadout, and it looks a little bit different. This is your armor plate, kill streaks, and self revives. This stuff that's on your soldier, you cannot change. It is what it is. If you extract with it from the last raid, you'll take it into the next one. Now, this is where I wish they would add another little stash where you could keep that stuff if you didn't want to bring it back in, or if you wanted to kind of save some of them. I think that would be pretty cool. And then down below that is your backpack, and this is where you can bring in keys. They're really the only item other than guns that you can keep in your stash. So if you click on a key, you can see all the keys that I have, which are pretty cool. I do want to show you something, so I'm going to bring one into this raid. I want to show you something about the keys that's kind of interesting when you look at them. And then this is your loadout. Now, what I've been doing is I've actually been using DMZ to level up guns. There are a lot of missions and contracts you can do when you're into DMZ that add a lot of weapon XP if you're holding that gun when you complete it. So I've been trying to level up the P890 pistol. I've just bringing it in and head shooting some of the AI, and it actually levels up guns pretty quick. But this is where you can select your weapons. So these are some of the contraband weapons that I've extracted with. And then what's really important, you want to set up this insured slot. Now this is how you bring in a custom gun. There's essentially two types of weapons. Contraband ones you can't really edit. These are ones you can find in raids. So like if you find an M4 like this with a bunch of attachments, with a full set of 5 attachments, that's something you probably want to bring out, hang on to, and take back in when you're trying to complete a pretty difficult mission or something like that. So that's just a little bit of the thought that goes into it. But then in the insured slot, this is where you can set up anything. What I usually do is I was using it to level up snipers. So I had a sniper rifle in there. We'll talk about how to take on the AI in just a little bit, but I was bringing a sniper in and then just getting an RPK or an AK-74U off of the scavs and just using that for up close stuff. But yeah, you can choose whatever you want. And what happens is, when you go in and you take this and use it and you die, then it is considered an insured slot, and it has a cooldown on it. Within a couple hours, it should fill back in again with that gun. But you can put anything in here. You can change it how you want to. Currently, I just have a pistol because that's what I'm working on leveling on, and it works really well. Then something to not forget on this screen: tacticals, lethals, and field upgrades. You get these every time without fail. It's not like Tarkov where if you lose it, it's gone. If you lose it, you can set these up. You have an unlimited supply of these. So always remember to pick these 3 things, because they're always there. What I like to do is I like to bring a stim. It's a long time before the health regens, and sometimes the AI can swarm a little bit and stims can get you out of trouble. So I usually bring one of those stim tech to throw into piles of AI, because AI is generally what you're going to be fighting most of the time, it feels like. And then the munitions box is really important too, because you can run out of ammo if there's a lot of them. So that's kind of how I set up my loadout. I haven't got to the end game where I might go for more PvP. I might start putting some kind of more meta, assault rifles or something if I'm going to hunt down other operators. But as my quests are now, I've just been mainly focused on AI. Get into PvP if it happens, but it doesn't happen all that often. Then you want to set up your faction missions. So these are the bread and butter. If you're asking yourself, what the heck do I do in DMZ? start with these. They'll get you going. There's a lot of variety to them. I was really impressed to them. There was one where we had to get a Geiger counter and find some radioactive stashes. There's ones where you have to blow up different sites. You have to take over SAM sites and knock down airstreaks, all kinds of stuff like that. So this is kind of where I'm at. It's a little bit wonky, but essentially if you pick one, it lets you deselect another one. And then if they're completed down here, you can click on them and deselect them. So it's a little bit wonky how you do it, but these are how you get through those and get those selected. And that's what you're going to want to go after. That's what you're going to do to just get going. Things can change. You can come across another contract. You can maybe find a piece like a really good key or some really interesting loot or a good contraband weapon that you want to get out, and things can change in the DMZ. But as you go in now, those faction missions, that's what we're after. A couple other things. If you can go with the team, that helps a lot because these missions stack. If you're working on the same one, say the mission where you have to extract with so many kill streaks or something like that. If the person on your team has them, they count for you. So if you're trying to find something or unlock a certain site or take over a stronghold, if one person does that, it counts for the whole squad. These challenges stack, so it's really nice. Like they do with most games, to at least play with one friend. 2 friends is awesome because all these challenges, if they complete it, it also counts for you. So the one where you have to go to the police station and get the basilisk, the revolver, and get headshots. If you have 2 revolvers and each person gets 7 headshots, that counts as the 14 headshots, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit easier if you have a friend, and to do the same missions together, you can get them done really fast and they count for both teammates. So there are a few folks in my Discord, link in the description, and there's an LFG channel. It's not too active yet, but I would love to see a community if people want to go and do missions together to meet up over there on the Discord. So let's go ahead and drop in, and I want to show you a couple things and then basically just talk about what I've learned so far in the DMZ and give you guys a few tips. So again, if you realize, oh shoot, I have a mission that's already done, I need to select a different one, you can do that here. Same with here. This has happened to me before. I would hit the loadout screen and be like, oh, that's not what I wanted to bring. You can fix it here. So it puts it up in front of your face if you do forget. So that's really nice. When everyone's ready, you can go ahead and matchmake. Now I'm going to pop in raid and show you a couple things. All right, guys. So I wanted to show you a few things. Just spawn in. When you spawn in, kind of be ready. Sometimes it spawns you in really close to AI. Basically what you can do is on keyboard, it's tab. It's probably the middle button on controllers. I'm not 100% sure. But this is your stash, your backpack. It gives you key binds or tutorials on what to click. But the one thing I wanted to tell you that I didn't learn right off the bat that took a really long time is if you hover over a key, this is really important. You can see where it tells you what it is, and you're kind of like, where the hell is that? Well, it tells you what quadrant it is on the key, the F3 right there, the green F3, that tells you where it's at on the map. So if you go over to F and then column F, row 3, it's in Mazrah City. So even though it's a little harder to find, it's in that square. So that helps out a lot. Anytime you get a key, and there are a couple quests where you need to unlock something with the key, hover over that thing and it'll kind of tell you where it's at. That is something that took me a little bit of time to figure out. Again, going with a friend is really nice, but you can also do this solo if you need to. You just have to be more passive. You kind of have to think when you're going, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go for these different quests? So like I have to find a precision airstrike and kill 5 more enemies with it. The AI does count for that. So I'm gonna look at the map. I'm gonna see where I'm at and what I need to decide to do. So I need to work my way towards a buy. That's about $12,000 if I remember right for precision airstrike. So I could probably find enough loot in here, get a precision airstrike. I need 5 more of them, and I can come back over here, ping this tower. I can see where all the AI are on the map and call in the airstreak and get my quest done. And then I'm going to have to go ahead and look for the extracts, which are kind of far away. So I'm probably going to want to get a vehicle, move across that way. So that's kind of how my raid sits right now where I'm looking at it. There are different things you can do, tons of different stuff. Maybe you'll see a contract or get a piece of loot, and that stuff is going to change. But as of right now, I kind of want to show you what I'm talking about when taking on AI. AI can really swarm on you guys. So do not be afraid to bail, okay? You don't have to fight them. You don't have to kill them. They're not going to chase you forever. So if you have to bail, that is no problem at all. So let's see if we can find some AI, and I will show you kind of how I approach it. But what I'm generally trying to tell you is I like to come in with like a sniper rifle or something. as my insurance slot weapon and take these things out from a distance. Take the AI out from a distance. It'll aggro other in the area and you'll kind of get a feel for how many there are. Take them out in the area before you go in, especially if you're solo, because like I said, they will swarm on you. So this is kind of what I would do. Let's go up and get some AI and I'll show you. So generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back and I'm going to try to go for these headshots. This is a lot easier with not a pistol, but again, I'm leveling this up. So like I said, I like to keep my distance. We'll see how hard this is. And then what I'm going to do, so imagine this pistol is actually a sniper rifle. And then these guys usually have some kind of assault rifle. Now I'm kind of vibing. I got something for up close. And that's kind of how I've been playing it. Got extra stims. Those really help. But just do that with all AI when you go on to certain places. Like that's how to handle them. Take him, clear out the area first from the distance. There's going to be more, but don't just run into the AI and don't be afraid to bail. Now, a couple things with the quest that I also want to talk about that basically I'm just thinking of things that took me a little bit of time to figure out that might help you guys. The quest where you have to find the police station. A lot of times you have to find the basilisk from the police station to get 14 headshots. It's in Mazrah City up here, but it first looks like you want to think it's this, but that's not it. That's the police academy. It's actually, the police station is actually located by this west roundabout. It's right here. So if you need to pause the screen, if you're on that quest, that's where that's at. The other thing that was really hard for me to find, I'll see if I can remember where it was you have to put lethals in a dumpster behind the hotel. That is actually located right here. It doesn't tell you where that's at. We eventually found it. It's right there. So there's a dumpster right there that's highlighted. You have to put lethals in for a quest. Those were the two things that were really hard to find. Police station up there by that roundabout, and then this thing right here is where the dumpster is for that quest. Those are really difficult things to find. The other spot I wanted to talk about is some of the denied zones on the map. So you hear a lot about strongholds and you have to take strongholds, but there are a couple denied zones that are on the map, and I picture those things to be like strongholds that you don't have to have a key for. They have a lot of good loot, and so it's not too hard to get into them. And I want to show you one of my favorites. If you actually go up into the west end of the map, the Setup, I'm guessing that's how you say it, cave complex. If you go into these caves down here, there is a lot of really good loot here. It's essentially a free-for-all stronghold. There's a couple on the map like that, but I've just found super good loot. Some quest items I've found in there without having to take on a stronghold again. So the Setup cave complex is a really good spot to go in to find loot. There's some armored AI in here. But they're in tunnels, so you just take out a few, go in nice and easy, clearing as you go, get some loot, and then come back out the way that you came in, because you know it's pretty clear, and that's how you've done it. Now, if you're trying to get the M13 contract, the chemist, many of you probably have it done, but the best way to get that done is essentially to go ahead, the AI are attacking me now, is to go ahead and run the chemist over with the vehicle. He's wearing a yellow suit, get the M13 and extract it, and then if you do it with friends, you can bring that gun back in, go back. Basically what you do, look at him go. Basically what you can do is drop in with it, but I'll show you how they can swarm. And these are some of the easy ones. But see, I'm already almost dead. It takes a really long time to heal. I would probably pop a stim here, especially because I don't have anyone to res me. If I'm solo, and I'm dead right there. So that the AI, like I'm telling you, are pretty wild. Anyway, that's how to get the M13 out. Once you kill the chemist once, like I said, usually with a vehicle is the easiest for us. Then you can drop back in with friends, hand them the gun, they can extract with it, and they'll have it unlocked. And then do that for your third friend. Drop in, hand them the gun, immediately go to extract, and you guys can all unlock the M13. That was the easiest way. Most of you probably have already done that by now. You're gonna want to move. You're gonna want to move around the map pretty stealthily for sure if you're playing solo. It can be pretty crazy. I like the RPK that they usually drop. For sure, you can really, it's got a lot of damage. And if you brought a sniper in, like I said, you can just sit back, then you got the RPK if stuff gets crazy, and just go around and do some of your quests. A lot of them are really fun. The hostage ones, I don't know if I can find one of those on here. Basically these phones are the contracts. These hostage ones, they extract you, so you get out with it. So you can maybe do that at the end, get a little XP and cash when you do that. There is a quest to do one. I'm working on it now actually, and that's how you can get out. All right guys, so one thing I want to tell you about extracting. So I drove a vehicle up to one of the nearest extracts. Say I got some contracts done, I was ready to get out. Let's see if I can do it live. What you want to do, the vehicles put you on the map, and a lot of times when you do see other enemies, it's going to be near extracts. So what I recommend is really dropping the vehicle early, a couple 100 meters out. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I ping the right thing so I know where I'm going. But yeah, definitely drop the vehicle a couple 100 meters out so the enemies, if there are some, approach these with caution. Okay, if you're in a vehicle and you drive right up there, enemies are gonna know exactly where you're at. So we're gonna try to kind of covertly extract. I'm solo. I'm still carrying around my pistol to level it up like kind of an idiot. But we'll see if we can sneak in here and tactically extract, and I can show you some stuff about extracting. The other thing that can happen, a lot of times you will see an extract going off. You can run up there and decide to engage. If you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling equipped, like you want to take on some PvP and you really want to get out with some quest items or with some contraband weapons or something, let him go. They will reset. It's not a one and done extract. This one's going to be an issue because there's notoriously a lot of AI around gas stations. So this one might actually be a little bit difficult. We're going to pull out the auto gun, and it looks like someone's brought an LTV in here. This might be a problem. So now people know we're here. Find a spot to hide. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to drop the vehicle early, so they don't know where we're at for sure. And yeah, this is pretty scary when you're solo. I would recommend kind of hanging out and chilling out and looting or extracting later in the raid if you're solo, once other folks have left. But if you do run up here, the extract's going on, you can hide, let it go. In a few seconds it will reset. But yeah, we're essentially gonna have to fight quite a few AI here probably, and hopefully an enemy team doesn't come up here while I'm solo. Look at that aim. Is that Shroud? It's pretty good aim. So it's dropping in. We'll see if we can get out. Hopefully we don't get extract camped by a bunch of buttholes. So they're here. We got our quest. We're trying to get out. Let's go. Let's go. We're solo. No problem. That's a problem. We're good. But yeah, see, I barely used the RPK and leveled it up. Like, you level up guns really fast in here. Anyway, guys, it looks like we're escaping the DMZ. That's kind of what I wanted to go through, some of the basics of raiding, some of the quests, and kind of the tier 1 that I had trouble finding locations of. Hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that answers questions. If you guys have any other questions that you'd like to know, I would love to make content. If there's any tasks you guys are struggling with, we can maybe learn and get through those together, help you out a little bit with that. I would love to make more content on this game. If you guys are interested in it, let me know if you've been having fun, what quest gave you a hard time. And yeah, I guess we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you out on the DMZ.